For years, I've been writing blogs and putting them out on my WordPress site and my Facebook page, and it felt good to get my opinion out there. Recently, some friends have told me that I should put together videos and say what I have to say in that medium. However, I would just shrug my shoulders and say, I don't have the face for TV, and then I'd forget about it. Yet the more I thought of it, the more I realized that I can combine my writing with the power of video and still get my message across without having to allow for my anxiety to step in and cause me issues. Now, years ago, I went to broadcasting school and then went on to work for an Albany local radio station, and it was the best job I ever had. So I started thinking to myself, why not just do a video of a radio broadcast? I realized I could use the video to show what it is that I'm blogging about, and yet use my skills as a broadcaster to speak the words that I've written. So this video is my first attempt, and I would really like to get your feedback regarding how this came across for you. Now, a while back, I wrote an open letter to my wife and posted it for all to read. I now want to use that same open letter to create my trial run vlog or video log. And if it is perceived well, I'll create more and then post more. So I really hope you enjoy this. An open letter is intended to be read by a wide audience. Although it is addressed to one individual or one specific group, the author intends to share the content of the letter with as many readers as possible. Hence this open letter to my wife. It's my intention to share with the public everything I have in my heart regarding this amazing woman. Dear Nadine, as I reflect over these past 5 years, I can't help but applaud you for your strength and perseverance while struggling through a difficult time. When we first got married, we had a rough road to navigate through our new lives as a married couple, and not many women would have been able to hold up through everything you dealt with. Months after we were married, you took on an added responsibility when you took in a sick family member. You arranged our living room into a hospital room, and aside from a 10-hour day of work and keeping home, you also spent evenings looking after this family member. You were always the first one to wake up and the last one to go to sleep during that time. On top of all that, you had to deal with a newly diagnosed ASD husband. Much of this became overwhelming for me, and despite my reaction to things, you pushed on with a smile on your face, mainly to keep anyone from realizing that you were crying in your heart. I know these last 5 years have not been easy for you, and I realize I wasn't very much help most of the time. As I stated earlier, most women would have run off and filed for divorce, but you have not given up on me. I recognize your efforts to understand and try to cope with my mental health and my physical health. I understand that it has been stressful on you and our marriage. I applaud you for standing next to me and building me up, rather than running away and knocking me down. You are an amazing woman, Nadine, and I wanted the world to know just how lucky I am to have you as my wife. There are those on the outside who look in on our marriage and feel the need to judge, whether they are siding with you and judging me, or siding me and judging you. Only those who truly love us and are constants with our inner circle really understand who we are as a couple. And to them I send all my love. I thank them for being our friends who have been consummate cheerleaders for our marriage. 10 years ago, you and I met on an internet dating site. And shortly after we first met, I broke up with you via a text message. The reason I did that was because I was afraid of the feelings you were stirring up in me. They were strong and intense, and those feelings came about very quickly. The first time you held my hand, I knew I wanted to marry you, and that very thought scared me to death. However, God wanted us to be together, and He put us on each other's path where we ran into one another in a crowded downtown Pittsburgh event. Of all the thousands of people milling about, we literally walked up to one another face to face in a sea of people. Some would say it was by chance, but I honestly believe it was divine intervention. Now today we have more than 500 miles between us, and although outsiders would look at us and say, how could you deal with that situation? I say to them, I love her more than I can express. I trust her with my heart, and I trust her implicitly. I actually heard you tell the very same thing to someone the last time I was home, and Knowing that we are both on the same level with love and trust makes this easier to do. I'm not saying it's easy, not by any means. However, I'm saying this situation would be much more difficult if we were both angry and full of distrust with one another. So I'm shouting from the proverbial rooftop, Nadine, and I'm letting the world know that my wife is a real life superwoman. Thank you for being an amazing wife. I love you, baby girl.